Hey Gossip Galaxy fam, so you know how your ex slides into your DMs every few months pretending they just want to check in? Well, imagine that energy, multiply it by $250 million, and you've got Kevin Hunter's latest move. Spoiler alert, the judge said absolutely not, better luck never. Let's get into this mess. Alright, so Wendy Williams' ex-husband Kevin Hunter just got hit with the legal equivalent of new phone, who dis? A judge literally threw his lawsuit straight into the trash where it belongs. And honestly, the audacity of this man could power a small country. Kevin filed this mammoth $250 million lawsuit back in June, and if you're wondering what kind of calculator he used to come up with that number, join the club because we're all confused. Here's the tea. Kevin wasn't just asking for money, he was trying to end Wendy's guardianship while simultaneously claiming her guardian Sabrina Morrissey was exploiting her. He demanded a forensic audit of Wendy's accounts, basically trying to play superhero swooping in to save the day. Except nobody asked for this hero, nobody wanted this hero, and plot twist, this hero is actually just wearing a villain costume from Party City. The judge looked at this circus and said, absolutely not. The reason Kevin tried to file the lawsuit is Wendy's friend. Yes, you heard that right. Her ex-husband, the man she divorced and publicly dragged, tried to waltz into court pretending to be her buddy. That's like your toxic ex showing up to your birthday party claiming they're your emergency contact. Sir, security is literally right there. Now here's where it gets spicy. The judge did give Kevin one tiny olive branch. He told him he could refile the lawsuit, but this time in his own name, not on Wendy's behalf. Basically saying, if you want to sue someone, do it yourself and leave Wendy's name out of your mouth. It's giving participation trophy energy, except even sadder. But wait, because Wendy Williams is not the one to play with, and she came out swinging. When TMZ asked her about this whole situation, she made it crystal clear she had absolutely zero knowledge of this lawsuit and wanted nothing to do with it. Her exact words, he's a money grubber, he's always been that way. And honestly, when your ex-wife calls you a money grubber to an international publication, maybe it's time for some self-reflection. Just maybe. Wendy didn't stop there though, because why would she? She added that it's actually good to know he's doing evil things again, emphasis on again, which tells you everything you need to know about their marriage. Then she dropped the mic with, I'm divorced forever. Not divorced for now, not divorced until further notice. Forever. As in, don't ever get it twisted, this ship has sailed, sunk, and been discovered by marine archaeologists. Her attorney Joe Tacopina jumped in too, and his statement was basically the legal version of, we don't know her. He told People magazine that Kevin has no standing to add Wendy's name to any lawsuit and zero authority from her whatsoever. Then came the kicker. And we certainly don't need his help if we want to file a lawsuit. So, thanks, but no thanks. That's not just shade, that's a full solar eclipse. Let's rewind for a second and talk about how we even got here. Wendy and Kevin were married for 21 years before everything imploded in 2019. 21 years is longer than some of us have had the same email address, so clearly there's history. But sometimes history needs to stay exactly where it is. In the past, collecting dust. Fast forward to early 2022, and Wendy was placed under a court-appointed guardianship. This whole thing reportedly started because her financial advisor Lori Schiller raised concerns to Wells Fargo about Wendy's mental capacity and financial management. The specific claim was that Wendy was of unsound mind, which is legal speak that led to the guardianship situation we're dealing with today. Now, guardianships are complicated and they're meant to protect people who genuinely can't manage their own affairs. But they're also controversial because they remove a person's autonomy, and there's been a whole national conversation about this, especially after what happened with Britney Spears. So the fact that Kevin is trying to position himself as some kind of white knight fighting against the guardianship would almost be noble if it wasn't so transparently about the money. Because let's be real, where was all this concern during the divorce? Where was this protective energy when their marriage was falling apart? It's fascinating how people suddenly become deeply invested in your well-being when there's a financial angle involved. It's giving lottery ticket relative energy, showing up only when they think there's something to gain. The $250 million figure is particularly wild. Like, even if you thought you had a case, how do you arrive at that number? Did he calculate every year of marriage and multiply by some random coefficient? Did he factor in inflation and emotional damages and the cost of his bruised ego? The math isn't mathing, and clearly the judge agreed because he yeeted that lawsuit right out of the courtroom. What's interesting is that Kevin could technically still refile in his own name, but that would require him to have an actual legitimate legal claim, which based on the judge's response, seems questionable at best. Plus, refiling means more legal fees, more time, and more public embarrassment when Wendy continues to drag him in the press. At some point you have to ask yourself if it's really worth it. Here's the thing about exes who won't go away. They're like that one song that gets stuck in your head, except instead of being annoying for 3 minutes, they're annoying forever. They pop up at the worst times, they always have some agenda, and they never seem to understand that their time has passed. Kevin Hunter is currently starring in that role, and reviews are not good. Wendy Williams has been through a lot these past few years. Health issues, personal struggles, public scrutiny, and now this whole guardianship situation. The last thing she needs is her ex-husband trying to insert himself back into her life under the guise of helping her. If he really wanted to help, he could simply disappear and let her live her life in peace. But that would require self-awareness, and clearly we're working with a deficit there. So what's next? Well, Kevin has to decide if he wants to refile this lawsuit in his own name and potentially face another embarrassing dismissal, or if he wants to finally take the hint and move on with his life. Smart Money says he should choose option 2, but something tells me we haven't seen the last of this drama. And that's the tea for today, Gossip Galaxy fam. If you're enjoying these daily deep dives into celebrity chaos, make sure you're subscribed because we're dropping multiple videos every single day, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Hit that like button if you think Kevin Hunter needs to take several seats and stay seated. Drop a comment telling me if you think Wendy's ex is really just a money grubber or if there's more to this story. And keep it locked to Gossip Galaxy because in this universe, the tea never stops flowing and neither do we. Catch you in the next one.